And Fertitta, the owner, I thought Harden didn't like him, right? Because he's a douchebag.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like, where was Fertitta on January 6th? I'm just saying, like, that guy is a total, like, we don't know.
oh,
I think I know where he might have been. Anyway,
I mean,
I'm. Oh, this podcast is getting taken down. I'm gonna get like. Welcome to another episode of What Are They Going to Say Now? Jay and Tony here as always, and we're just coming off of last night, Game 7, Miami and Boston, and Miami dominated all the way through. And
on the road.
Yeah, a historic comeback, but not even close in the end.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's tough to win 4 straight games against a team that just beat you for 3 straight games.
Yeah, and really they could have maybe should have lost Game 6 there at the end with the heroics of Jimmy Butler. Right. They kind of got lucky to even get it to 7. So,
sidebar from Gambler J.
Oh boy, here we go.
Gambler J said the Celtics are favored by 7 points in the Game 7.
Throw that money down.
I'll take the heat.
Nice.
And I did.
Nice.
7 points in the Game 7. That's a big skew. So I was like, give me the Heat. Because I think I was like, it's going to be close no matter what.
And the Heat are very good in close games.
Dominated, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, 7 points?
Nice.
That's like free money.
Gambler Jet.
So thank you, Jimmy Butler.
Gotta have a little graphic.
Thank you, Jimmy Butler.
Little Gambler J graphic that comes across.
Should we have a disclaimer?
Yeah.
Because like all my gambling stories turn out I'm pretty selective when I gamble.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm pretty selective. So I kind of win most of my bets, but I'm very selective.
I remember that prop bet for the Niners game.
Yeah. That now the Warriors to win it all. That bet didn't work out so well.
No, we're not going to talk about that. Oh.
So interesting game. Actually, non-interesting game. Kind of boring.
Yeah.
But man, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both not good. Both highly inefficient. I mean, I think in the first quarter, collectively, they missed like 12 3-pointers. Like it wasn't good.
They're such a strange team, man. Like, I mean, I would say that they're a really good road playoff team, but they just have these
they have a losing record at home.
They're confounding home playoff losses. It's just like, I don't understand how you can be like, it's almost like, it felt like they were tight. You know what I mean? They just came out. They couldn't hit any shots. Couldn't get any rhythm going. They were struggling against like the zone defense, which they've seen before. They shouldn't have these issues. And we saw it last year against the Warriors. I mean, they just tighten up and,
especially late in games, we see them not score for 4 minutes. That kind of stuff.
And I don't think because I know early in the series, a lot of people were saying, oh, it's all Joe Mazzulla, blaming the young new coach. I don't know if you could put it all on him, man. I mean, your stars got to step up, and
we've seen this with Tatum and Brown a couple times now.
Yeah.
I still think that team needs a more seasoned coach. I don't think it's Mazzulla's fault per se, but I still think that team needs a more seasoned coach.
Do you think
just like through adversity, who's like been there and just kind of can roll with it? I think they need somebody like that.
Okay.
I don't know who that is. I think Monty Williams would be a good fit. I was going to say Nick Nurse, but he's now in Philly, which is also a great fit. Actually, I did call Nick Nurse to Philly. I said that last episode.
Yeah, that is a good fit. Yeah.
We'll get into that later. But
I don't know what the result is there. I do think they will make some kind of change. I doubt they're going to break up Tatum and Brown, but that's the other thing to think about, which is what we talked a little bit off air, but Jaylen Brown's up for a big extension, right?
Supermax.
Or big contract.
Supermax. He qualifies for the Supermax.
So if you're the Celtics...
He made all NBA.
Right. Yeah. So if you're the Celtics, are you, after that performance, like it leaves a real bad taste in your mouth, right? Like that.
Well, and and I'll say this about Jaylen Brown. Hey, Cal alumni. I like Jason Brown.
There you go.
Uh, Jaylen Brown. Um, he's a max player. Is he a super max player?
Right, right.
There's a big difference there. I guess as far as the salary cap goes, it's not because it's a slot, but
Hmm.
you get the luxury tax and
Right.
all that. He's not a super max player. He's like a, I don't want to say he's a number 2, but he's like a 2+.
Okay.
And
Right.
Tatum's a
So,
1.
right.
Tatum's a 1.
Hmm.
Jalen's a 2+, but then I mean they were in the finals last year. It was close. They're right on the edge again. So I could see just running it back. I don't know.
Right.
It's a
I
tough.
think
It's a
the
tough
question
situation.
is always, who do you replace him with, right? If you decide that you're not
Right.
going to pay him that, so and that's not easy, because I would say he
No.
is one of
No.
the best,
Yeah. He's a 2+.
small forwards.
That was insulting. He's
Right.
a 2++++. So he's
Right.
right
Right.
there. He's not a
Right.
1. He's not a 1.
Right. So would you take him over, let's say, someone we know well, an Andrew Wiggins?
Yeah,
See, there you
probably.
go.
No, but probably for the offense, just because he will
Right.
create offense. Where Wiggins kind of
Younger,
passive.
right? Younger.
Wiggins is kind of passive, but
Yeah.
Wiggins is also a better defender. Not that
Both
Browns,
athletic.
they're both good
Yeah.
defenders. Yeah,
Right. Wiggins is, I would say, more consistent. Yeah.
Wiggins is rock solid consistent.
I would
That's
say,
true.
yeah, I would say Wiggins is more consistent on both ends of the ball. But right. So you're just, I mean, if you're comparing,
Yeah.
and I'm saying, I'm just saying Wiggins
No,
is somebody we know. There's other
I
people in
think
that range.
Brown's more consistent on offense than Wiggins. Wiggins can kind of disappear a little bit. Brown
Yeah.
is a consistent
In the
offensive
playoffs?
player. Yeah, no, Wiggins is no. Brown's a more consistent offensive player. He is
in general.
Yeah, he puts up his numbers more consistently.
Hmm.
Wiggins can kind of disappear. So
Yeah, I would say he has a better overall game as far as getting to the line more, right?
Yeah.
Like just being more aggressive. Yeah, I mean it. But the fact that it's a question, and that Wiggins is getting paid what he's getting paid, and Brown
right.
might get a super max. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Well,
those are the things you have to weigh as.
I think it's a good comparison. I like
Yeah.
Wiggins as a 2.
Right. Right.
But
And on the
yeah,
Warriors, he's
but
not. He's more of probably like a 2 or a 3, right?
but
So, I mean,
Brown as a
that's great.
supermax that's harsh. Like
It's tough.
I don't like that.
Yeah. So there's going to be some questions there for sure. Man, it's going to be an interesting.
I think if you're
offseason.
Boston, you have to just run it back.
You have to pay him. Yeah.
And then you might, again, I don't think Missoula's bad, but we've seen some lack of adjustments and change up the coach, get a more seasoned coach. Again, Monty Williams, Bud, Bud could be good too, potentially. I mean, we know he's a good coach. And guys, we're talking about lack of adjustments, and that's Budenholzer's, thorn in his side. But again, the coaching carousel is going to be interesting. If you're Boston, you just have to run it back. I mean, they've been so close, right?
Yeah.
You ran into the Steph Curry buzzsaw, and then the Jimmy Butler insanity. Let's talk about Miami and Jimmy Butler. Okay, they lost the first playing game. They won the second playing game to get the 8th seed.
Right. And weren't they were down in that game as well, in the second playoff game.
I believe this is the first 8 seeds to ever make the finals. I'm pretty sure.
I think there was one more. Was it the Nuggets? 90s Nuggets?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
They lost.
Yeah.
But I think they're the second, I want to say.
Right.
I can look that
but I mean,
up while you're talking.
What a run.
Yeah.
And Spoelstra, I know they almost blew it after being up 3-0, but they got it done handily in that game. Cool to see. I really love this matchup. I think Denver, well, let's talk about it right now. Let's make our predictions. I have Denver in 6. I'm going against Jimmy Butler again. He's going to prove me wrong somehow again.
Yeah, right.
And, Miami fans should love that I'm doing this. Like, just keep going with that. Keep going against
Absolutely.
Jimmy.
Keep disrespecting.
So I have Denver in 6, and I feel pretty good about that. But if I'm wrong, I'll love it. I'll love being wrong. I think that'd be fun. So how about you?
Also going Denver. And yeah, they're gonna hate me even more because I'm going Denver in 5. I just feel like Denver's been
I gave an extra game just for the
yeah,
Jimmy factor.
right, which
I mean,
I toyed with also, and maybe part of it's just wanting to be a little bit different, but I just feel like, man, they've had some grueling series here,
yeah.
and they've had some some been a little banged up along the way and this and that, and they do have, I don't know, they looked a little fallible
Yeah.
towards the end of that series, right? Obviously losing 3 straight games, and it becoming a possibility that they could have been out. I think that took a lot out of them to win that last game. Like they really had to rally and
But I will say, when it came down to it,
oh
they
yeah,
went for
yeah.
it and got it
But
done.
but Denver's a different animal, right? Denver is
Denver
not
seems
Boston.
hands down the best team in the league right now.
Right,
It's not even
right,
close. But when Murray and Jokic are both filling it,
right.
that's a deadly combo. Uh,
Yeah, and then you have to
I can't
factor
not take
in
Denver. I can't not
right,
take Denver.
and you have to factor in the altitude, right, and
Right, and they
the
have home court.
home court. So I'm seeing Denver winning the first 2 home games.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe game 3 I could see um you know
Yeah, I
Miami
don't know. I
getting,
mean,
and then but I mean, could it go 6? Absolutely. Could Jimmy go insane and it go
it
7,
could go
and
seven. Yeah,
who
it could. It
knows?
could. Yeah.
I'm
Again,
just
Jimmy has proven us wrong
right,
over
right.
and
He's the
over
hardest
and
guy to bet
over again.
on. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. So, and yeah, so there was one team, an 8 seed, that made the finals, but it was not the Denver Nuggets. It was the New York Knicks in the '99 season,
99.
and they went on to face the Spurs and lost 4-1.
I
And
barely
I
remember
believe
that.
that was a lockout season, if I'm not wrong. I think that was like a real
Yeah.
short season, which
I
is
barely
may have been
remember
some of the
that.
reason for that. But
Who was on that team? Who was on the Knicks team? 99.
uh,
Patrick Ewing retired?
I think that was past Patrick Ewing. Yeah.
Like he retired the year before?
Right.
Oh, no, was he injured? And then they went off without him. I
Possibly.
believe that could be the
Yeah.
case. Yeah.
I remember John Starks.
And then he
There being
retired the
some
next
issues with
year.
John Starks
Yeah.
missing some shots or something
Well, we'll have to follow
in
up
the
on that,
finals
but I
there.
believe
So
that could be a thing where he got injured and then they went off
right.
without him.
Yep.
Actually,
Yeah.
Bill Simmons has the Ewing theory, and I believe it's about that season because
Okay. All
Ewing
right.
goes down, and then they play fantastic once he goes down.
Right. Right. So it's looking like no Ewing on the roster
Okay,
I'm looking at.
nice pull,
Spreewell,
Jay. Got that
yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
Oh, Latrell,
Latrell Spreewell, Allen Houston.
post
Yep.
choke Latrell.
This is a wild team to make the
As we
finals.
know in Golden State, like
Yeah.
yeah, remember that time he tried to choke
post
your
the
coach?
choke. Yeah, Carlissimo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Latrell Sprewell, Allen Houston, Marcus Camby, Larry Johnson, and then just a bunch of random guys.
What an
So
odd
that
team to make the
pretty
finals.
weird team to make the finals. Yeah, and that's why I think it was, like I said, that weird season. Like it would only happen during that weird lockout season. So, but yeah, that's
Wow.
so they're the
I'm gonna have to go
second
back
8
and
seed to make
revisit
the
that. I'm gonna.
Yep.
That's an odd year.
Yep. So
Anyway,
but no, it's very impressive by the Heat, man. Like we said, I don't think even the biggest Miami Heat fan, I don't think saw this happening. So kudos.
It's interesting when we rank players, like who's top 10 in the league or whatever. I don't like conversations where you get into like who's the best player in the league. It's stupid. Different positions, different things. Like how do you compare Curry to Jokic? They're just totally different, right?
Right.
But Jimmy Butler is an enigma. Like he's a different player in the postseason. Like his regular season numbers, they're all right. He just kind of skates through. But in the postseason, he's a different guy.
Yeah. He's just got that mode he can click into. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. You got to like that.
Yeah, it is. And it's kind of impressive that they did that. You would think if Miami was going to win a series like that or get to the finals, that everybody would be clicking on like high cylinders, right? But like Bam Adebayo kind of had some, like real iffy series. Like he didn't play great.
They've been grinding.
Caleb Martin. I mean, just this guy that comes out of I think he was
All NBA. Caleb Martin.
I think the Charlotte Hornets cut him like some years ago. Like he played no minutes in their in like playoff games they had last year, and this guy is just. I mean, what he had yesterday. He had 26 points, 10 rebounds.
He
Like,
was crazy.
yeah, he's outplaying Tatum and Brown. Like,
I
this is
know.
wild. You know what I mean? Like, so, but I mean, I think that goes to something we've talked about before with the Heat, which is just like next man up culture,
Yeah.
right? They just like foster this ability for players to like perform at their highest level.
And
Like,
again,
if you buy in,
Spolstra
yeah,
is
it's
amazing.
Spolstra, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out, man. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be an interesting series for sure, just matchup
Right.
wise, and
Again,
maybe not
I
the
have. Go ahead.
series the NBA wanted, but
I have Denver in 6, but if it goes 7, it won't surprise me one bit.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I hope it
So
goes 7.
that would be
You know
great.
what I love about
Now
this
that our team's
series?
out, we just want to get
This is the
good
exact
basketball.
opposite of Lakers Celtics.
Right.
In that either of these teams win, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Lakers Celtics be like, oh.
Right. I don't want either to win.
I think most people feel that way.
Yeah, yeah. Unless you're a fan of one of those teams, right?
Right, but otherwise.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, yep.
So we'll see. Matchup wise, who's going to be guarding Jokic? Bam.
I would think,
Stepping in.
yeah. Maybe they'll try some zone and
Yeah, I can see that.
kind of try and, kind of mix things up. Denver's been shooting really well.
Well, on the flip side, who's guarding
So,
Jimmy?
yeah, I mean, I could see like Michael Porter Jr. getting some time on him. He's a good defender.
Yeah.
Maybe even Aaron Gordon a little bit. He's kind of a bigger body that you just.
Yeah,
I think they're going to mix it up. I don't think it's one guy.
It's gonna be committee.
Yeah. And they're just gonna hope, that some of these other guys on Miami who have been lighting it up are not going to have as good of series.
Right.
Which is possible. They got to have some tired legs, man. And Denver's been resting for what, a week and a half.
We're gonna hear about,
By the time Thursday.
there's a myth, time off, rusty, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
The actual data comes out to show it really doesn't benefit or hurt. It's about average.
Rest versus rust, right?
Yeah. It doesn't really hurt a team. It doesn't really help a team either, statistically, historically. But,
yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, and I think what we've seen.
It feels like a Jokic mission. Like
right.
He's just
what we've seen most of the time is
he is the best player in the world right now.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
he didn't win
hard
the MVP,
to argue.
but
yeah,
I think in hindsight, everyone's like, oh yeah, yeah,
we may have messed up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad
Embiid deserved
got
it. Yeah.
But Jokic is clearly the best player in the world right now.
Absolutely. So, yeah, it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be interesting.
We touched on it before. So yeah, Nick Nurse goes to Philly to replace Doc Rivers. I like the hire. I like Nurse. I think he's a really good coach. And I think the Toronto, it was just, he won a chip there against the banged up Warriors. I think it's a good hire for Philly in particular. I think Philly needs someone like that. And I really like that hire. I think that's a great fit.
Yeah, I mean, great X's and O's coach, kind of an adjustments guy, which is something, I would say Doc
Rivers is not good at.
No. And, I think he ran his time out in Philly, with Doc Rivers, which, I've gone on about, kind of like how I feel he's overrated a little bit. I think Rivers is a good coach, but I think Nurse is, I definitely place him above, so it'll be interesting to see how.
I think Nurse is a better playoff coach.
Oh yeah.
Adjustments and that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's a great hire. We're going to see what happens with Harden. Oh, let's talk about that Harden. So for months, everyone's like, Harden's going to Houston. Can someone explain to me how that makes any sense at all? Like, I know Harden likes Houston, great strip clubs, some chicken wings and strip clubs. Like, I get it. Like, he likes Harden. I mean, he likes Houston. He's been there, whatever. Yeah. Why the hell would Houston want Harden? I'm not saying Harden's a bad player, but like, you have this young core. He's not exactly known for his work ethic. Again, he's known for hot wings and strip clubs, right? Why would Houston want Harden? It makes no sense. Like, that's the guy you're going to bring in. Like, I do not understand it.
I
That
think
it's the
from
strangest.
their yeah, it's strange. I mean, I think from their end, like they really don't have any draft flexibility. Like basically, like they're a terrible team, but they owe all kinds of draft picks to everyone else,
And
and
they
you
have a
know,
bunch of young talent though.
yeah, yeah.
So, but
I
like
I
Harden
think
is
maybe
not the
they're thinking
guy.
Harden bringing in Harden will help them bring in another
Ticket
big
sales?
star, and they just go back to the last 5 years ago when they were I mean they did give the Warriors some of the
No, I
probably
know.
their best
Just it
competition in
doesn't make
those
any
playoff
sense though. It
years.
doesn't make any sense at this
Yeah,
point.
I mean
I
it's
do not
definitely
understand it.
it's definitely going backwards as of like that's
Yeah,
not the
why
way
would
to
you do that?
build. That's not a way to build a team. Yeah,
If I was a Houston fan, that I'd be why what are we doing? What? It
yeah,
doesn't make any sense to me
yeah.
at
I
all.
mean,
I
I
do not get it.
I think basically what happened is
And for Tita, the owner, I thought Harden didn't like him, right? Because he's a douchebag.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Like, where was Fertitta on January 6th? I'm just saying. Like, that guy is a total, you know, like, we don't know.
oh,
I think I know where he might have been.
what I
Anyway,
mean,
I'm, oh, this podcast is getting taken down. I'm going to get like,
Tita's gonna be out there
I know,
monitoring.
I know,
What did they say about me?
I know. If I
Um,
disappear in the next
yeah, I
week,
was gonna say, yeah. I know nothing. I see nothing.
but
Um,
I thought that's why Harden left part of it. Like, he didn't like Fertitta, right? Like, as
yeah,
the
I
owner.
mean,
So
part of it.
that's
I
also
mean,
odd.
listen, he also just quit on the team.
Yeah.
And I would say that his track record post Houston hasn't been great. Like he quit on Brooklyn. I understood because the Kyrie
Kyrie, yeah.
disaster.
You
But
never
all
blame anyone for the Kyrie
yeah,
situation. Yeah.
but it's not like he went somewhere else and flourished, right? I mean, I would say he played well in Philly this year, and
Yeah.
I really thought that this was Philly's year to
Me too.
maybe
Yeah.
even possibly win a championship or at least get to the finals. And when that didn't work, now the coach is fired. Maybe the Embiid Harden thing is just not a long term great fit, and maybe he just says I want to go back to having my own team.
I think from Harden's point
Houston,
of view, it's just he likes Houston.
yeah, it's
Um,
comfortable, right? He's gonna
it's
know exactly what's
comfortable.
what's what's there.
And then maybe he's over it at this point. He's just gonna get
It's
his last big paycheck
yeah,
and kind of
it's
chill and do
it's
his
his
step back
team, right?
threes
It's
and
his team. He doesn't have to acquiesce to
right.
anybody
But like
else.
Harden, a bunch of these young guys, like, is that who I mean,
Well, I don't think
I've
that.
said on this
Yeah.
podcast, I said I would love to hang out with James Harden. I think that's a good hang,
Oh, yeah.
right?
I mean, I
But
might need
like,
a
and
lawyer on retainer, but
for the exact reason that I'm saying that, like, do you want him around a bunch
right,
of young
right.
guys in their early
Well,
20s?
I don't think that them
Yeah,
getting Harden is the end of it. I think they're a big fish hunting. If they get Harden, they're gonna say,
okay.
okay, well, we have so much flexibility. We get Harden, maybe another big free agent. We give them something. They're that's not it.
It
That's
just
just
doesn't make sense to me. The whole thing's yeah, you're right. It would have to be him and somebody else,
yeah,
and then and
absolutely.
some young
So
guys, and
right,
I don't know.
right, yeah. Do I think they'll
Anyway,
be great? I
hey, there's
mean,
nothing wrong with hot wings and strippers. Okay.
oh man. Um, yeah. So that's that rumor. Any other? There was some other coaching stuff too, right? Or at least one more hire.
So Milwaukee, right?
Yep.
Also Toronto, right?
Yeah. They picked up Raptors assistant coach Adrian Griffin.
Who was
Who
like the man behind Nick Nurse,
yeah,
kind of like
basically Nick Nurse
had a
is
good
number
rep.
2. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's a good hire, good young coach. Um,
A lot of pressure right there, right into it.
it
First,
is, it
yeah.
is, but I mean, you're talking
Well,
about
Giannis
come,
seems like a
yeah,
pretty good superstar to have in
yeah,
terms
pretty low
of for
maintenance, just kind
yeah,
of like put
Giannis and Curry are both that way. Like for
yeah,
a first time coach, like
yeah.
yeah,
Chris
like so
Middleton
Kerr,
is good,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Good kind of like
yeah. There's vets,
solid dude.
Holiday,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's really a good, for a guy who's going to come in with no head coaching experience, like that's the kind of team you want to come into.
right.
So I think Milwaukee would be good. You just always wonder how that fit's going to go with a brand new head
Now
coach,
remind me, under Nurse, was he on the defensive side or offensive, or do we? I'm not even clear on that.
I believe he was more of a defensive
Yeah.
specialist,
Okay.
but I don't quote me on that.
Sure.
Yeah, so
That would make more sense for Milwaukee,
right.
honestly. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. That was not on my radar. I never would have guessed that one.
high level defensive coach. Yeah, I'm just reading
Okay.
that it says he spent the last 4 years as Nurse's top assistant and is getting his
Okay.
first head coaching job with a reputation as a high level defensive coach. So that's off of Woj's
Okay.
article on ESPN.
I
So
don't really have an opinion on that. Good luck to him.
yeah,
I
exactly. I
mean,
mean,
sometimes you got to take that shot.
right.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So, and I think they prefer to go with kind of a young, unproven guy rather than somebody.
Right.
You get one of these coaches who comes in with kind of like their own head coaching experience, and sometimes they want to throw their philosophy and weight around. Whereas, you get a young kind of assistant coach who's getting his shot in a proven
Right.
system. Maybe they'll be a little bit more flexible to adapting
Right.
to the system already there because obviously it's been working. So
Yeah. So again, I don't really have an opinion, but
yeah,
interesting.
and then there's still a couple
And they had a
openings,
nice
right?
system in Toronto going.
Yeah,
Just,
some high profile guys still out there, right? Monty Williams.
right.
You even hear
Well,
D'Antoni.
Rivers, Monty
Yeah, Rivers.
Williams,
D'Antoni's name thrown
D'Antoni's still
around.
around.
Although
Yeah.
maybe I was thinking he was a possibility
D'Antoni's getting up
for.
there. I didn't realize he's in his 70s now, I think. He's
Yeah,
up there. So
yeah, very innovative, good offensive, great offensive coach. But I don't know if anybody's going to take
underrated.
a.
D'Antoni had one of the bigger impacts in the entire sport.
Yeah,
7 seconds or less, Phoenix Suns.
right.
Uh, which fed into the Warriors and the Spurs, and like
Yeah,
he's actually one of the more influential coaches in history. He really
right.
is.
He doesn't get that credit a
He
lot
doesn't
of
get enough
times,
credit.
but
Steve Kerr talks about it. He goes, "Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
D'Antoni's system, yeah."
absolutely,
And obviously,
absolutely.
D'Antoni took the KD Steph Warriors to the brink, like
Yeah,
right there. So
absolutely.
good
So
coach. But yeah, I think he's in his early 70s, so he might
yeah,
just be done.
yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where some of these other guys land. And still
Well,
some
and
high
and
profile
Bud
teams without
Bud
coaches. So.
Budenholzer might go somewhere too. Obviously,
Oh,
still a
that's
good
right. Yeah,
coach.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I could see that. I don't know. Like who what would be I mean, we're just kind of spitballing here, but what would be a name you would throw in for like Phoenix? Maybe one of
I
those.
mean, again, I didn't like them firing Monty Williams. I thought he did
I
fine
agree.
there. I didn't like that.
And it was super quick, and I thought just kind of like a
Reactionary.
reaction. Yeah,
And it must have been KD.
well,
I mean,
yeah, but
there's
KD
no
and
way they
Booker
did that
definitely
without
had to
KD and
okay
Booker
it.
signing off on it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So for like Phoenix, honestly, we might see Doc Rivers in Phoenix. Just old established coach. I could see KD signing off on that. I actually wouldn't be surprised to see Doc Rivers. Yeah.
I don't think he puts them over the top, but
No, I don't either, but I could see that happening.
yeah. Oh yeah, I could see it too.
It's not going to be it's not going to be an assistant from Toronto, for
No,
example.
no,
It's
no,
going to
no.
be an established coach for KD.
Right, right.
So Rivers, I mean, it's a perfect fit in Phoenix? Monty Williams.
The guy they fired.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
That one
absolutely.
doesn't make
So,
sense to me, but I like that. Doc Rivers. I think that's
okay,
actually, I
interesting.
could see that. Yeah.
Let's see, man. That yeah, I actually I could see it too. So it'll be interesting to see what they go
Or
with.
Bud. Bud could go there too.
Yeah, I
It's going
actually
to be
kind of
somebody
like
like that
I actually
with,
kind of like the Bud fit. I don't know
by the
if
way, I actually think that's a better call is Bud
yeah,
to
I don't know
Phoenix.
if KD and Book would like that because Bud is kind of a little he likes things. He likes a system, right, that he employs, and I sometimes some of the star guys don't really like. I know KD's had that issue in the past. Is he kind
KD and Booker just want to ISO and do
right,
PNRs all day
and
long.
and they want a coach who is gonna acquiesce to that a little more, and maybe that's more of a Doc Rivers type, right?
That's true. That's true.
So,
He's
so
kind of known
I
as a
don't know.
player's coach. He's a
Yeah,
player's
yeah,
coach.
right. So it's
Yeah.
gonna
So
be
actually, I go
interesting. Yeah,
back. I think Doc is probably the best fit, or not best fit, but likely to fit.
right, right. Yeah, but I mean,
And then where would Bud go if Doc goes to Phoenix? Where's Bud go?
what's still open?
He's
I
a good
mean,
coach. He has to go somewhere.
yeah, yeah. What's still open? Atlanta's open, I think, right? Or no?
No, they have Quinn
Oh,
Snyder.
sorry, they just
We
hired
did
Quinn. That's
up
right.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
here,
yeah, yeah.
and he proves his chops.
So what's the other? There's another opening. I feel like we're terrible at. I didn't do my
Well, no, I'm trying to think.
my
Well, I mean,
research
there
on those
might be some
spots.
openings that are not open yet.
Right, right.
Um, well,
Philly's gone.
I, I think Bud would be really good on a team on the cusp, kind of like Mike Brown did in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Because really good regular season coach and raises the team up.
Yeah.
And I don't know what team that is, but
Okay.
I could see something like that for Bud.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a
Interesting.
really good regular season coach.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
just
yeah.
has
I
some
like
flaws.
Budenholzer
Yeah,
a lot. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know what team that is. We'll see. There's going to be some firings that haven't happened yet, I guess. But
Absolutely.
with all
Absolutely.
these names out there, still
Yeah.
like Monty
Yeah.
Williams again. Where's Monty
Right.
Williams going?
And that's the thing that's interesting is like if you have some of these high profile guys
We
available,
we
you
could see a shakeup in Minnesota
ooh, okay. Interesting.
with everything that happened there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, that's the interesting thing is like if you see high profile names out there and you have a team that's kind of
Right.
underperforming, they could
I
be
mean,
like
you
swap.
have a bunch of coaches with like rings out
Right.
there right
Right.
now.
So
Like,
you if you're on the cusp and you're not happy with your coaching, maybe you could say, "Oh, well, get rid of the guy I got
right.
and see if see if that's what pushes us over the edge." So, yeah. It's interesting.
I'm gonna hang on that Minnesota call right there
Okay.
because this year
Minnesota.
was a disaster for them. Like it was supposed to be. They brought in Gobert, all those draft picks.
Yeah. I I
They're kind of
Yeah,
stuck. They're kind of
I
stuck.
right, and I wouldn't even put that on the coach to
No, it's
myself,
it's
but
not. It's a
but
roster
the coach is
problem.
the one who gets
Yeah,
right before they change
unfairly. Yeah,
anything roster wise, they get rid of the coach. So yeah, that's a good call. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I'm trying to think of where
anyways,
else, but yeah,
yeah,
we'll see. It's gonna be
yeah,
a interesting coaching carousel. So
absolutely. Yep.
hey, so one thing we didn't talk about um, after the Lakers were eliminated, in typical LeBron fashion, he changes the narrative and controls the narrative. Instead of talking about Denver and Jokic being the best player in the world right now and dominating that series, LeBron immediately goes to like, oh, is he going to retire? And it's, by the way, dumbest thing ever. Okay. Remember the Kobe farewell tour?
Yeah.
You think LeBron didn't see that and was like, look, you think LeBron is not doing the farewell tour? Come on. He
Right.
is not retiring without a
This
farewell
guy's
tour.
ego is
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
You think
Now,
right?
to be
Yeah.
fair, if I was LeBron, I would do the same thing. I want the
Oh,
farewell
yeah,
tour. I would
100%.
totally do it. Yeah. It's okay. But like everyone's sucking this up and like talking about it all week instead of Denver winning the series. And
Instead
now
of
it's
them
all about
getting swept,
LeBron. Yeah.
which is what the conversation should
Exactly.
be
I
on.
know.
Yeah.
So credit to him. He
Yeah.
changed the narrative, but like he's not retiring.
No.
Stop.
Listen.
Stop.
We've seen this story before. He comes out
He deserves a can't talk.
farewell
Farewell tour.
tour.
He deserves
Absolutely.
Do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's great. He
Right.
should do that. And
Paul
it
Pierce
probably
didn't deserve one, like Draymond said, but yeah, no, LeBron definitely and you think
yeah.
he's leaving all that money on the
Yeah.
table,
The
also, and
idea
just
that he's
walking away?
not doing that is
Right.
like absurd. Just
He's not.
stop,
He's
ESPN.
not
Stop.
walking away from all that money either. This is LeBron James.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. Farewell tour and Space Jam 3.
Yeah.
And
Plays, gets to play with his son. You know what I mean? Like all these things, which I
don't actually think he's that attached to that anymore because I think
Yeah. Well, I'm maybe not on. I think it's something he would like. I don't think I think he. Okay, this is the funny thing about LeBron. I think sometimes he just says stuff,
yeah,
and it like becomes this prophetic, like we've known this, right? He's got a reputation as maybe not being truthful all the time either.
sure.
Saying he's read certain things or that this is his favorite thing and then asking to quote from said things and
Right. You're on page 1 of that book still,
right. So I mean, I think it was one of those things. Listen, he was embarrassed about getting swept, right? And he, the media's talking to him, and he was pissed off. Like I get it, but I think it
And
was
by the
one of
way,
those. Yeah,
I will say,
I don't even think it was thought out, to be
in that
honest.
elimination game, he
right.
played his ass off.
Oh yeah, he
He had
played great.
40 points, and he
He
played
had
20
something in the first quarter. I think
He had
I was
48
like,
minutes, 40
right.
points. Like he was playing his ass off.
He did, and what do I? Could they have won a game in that series? I think they could have. Like, was it like a super dominating sweep?
No,
they're with any sweep
more of a
that far. I think
more of a look. I know they won a ring in the bubble.
Yeah.
Even LeBron knows that was kind of a weird thing. AD doesn't show up consistently, and he knows it.
Yeah.
And then now we have all the rumors of LeBron has said, "Who do you most want to play in the league with?" And he goes, "I want to play with Curry."
Oh God.
And that's been all over. And I'll tell you what, with the Warriors turmoil and everything going on,
don't do it, Jay.
No, I don't.
Please.
I don't think it's that crazy. I don't think it's that crazy.
Do you want it is the question. I think.
Okay, I'm gonna shock you. Kind of, kind
Oh
of.
no, Jay,
I know, I know.
no.
Honestly, here. Okay,
You, go ahead. I'll
I
let you
always
finish.
said, okay, they said, hey, pick two players in the league to start the team with. Two players. What's the most? And I would say Curry and LeBron. You
Hmm.
got the inside out game. Um, and then we saw them as teammates finally in the All Star game a couple years back, right? And it was filthy. I'm just saying that combo. I know they're both on the older side of things now, but that combo would be I mean, LeBron Curry pick and roll. Are you kidding me? Right? I don't think it's that far fetched with how much things are up in the air. Bob Myers just said this morning that he's gonna not
Yeah.
retire, but he's gonna walk away from the game, spend more time with his family.
Hmm.
Um, things are totally in the air. I don't think it's that crazy. I think it's a legit possibility because they're at the end of their careers, both of them. LeBron, especially being older. Curry's going to be turning 36. LeBron's turning 39. They're friends. Draymond and LeBron are like best friends now, shockingly, right? Years later. I don't think it's that crazy. I think there's a chance that happens.
You know why I don't want it? Besides the fact I just, I don't want to see LeBron on the team that I root for. Steph doesn't want it. Steph has been asked about this.
I know. I heard the
He
podcast
doesn't want
clips.
it. He does not like I think he
Hang
appreciates.
on. Hang on. Hang
Go
on.
ahead. Go ahead.
I know what you're referring to because he was asked about this on the podcast.
Yes.
However, that was before they played together in that All Star game. And they had
I
so much
don't
fun
I
playing together in the All Star game. I think you're probably right, but I'm not ruling it out.
I'm not saying I'm ruling it out. I just think for KD to come to the Warriors, right? What had to happen? They all had to sign off, especially Steph,
Well,
because he
obviously,
knew he was going to
no one comes to the
sacrifice.
Warriors without Steph signing
Right,
off.
right. And
Yeah.
I just think push comes to shove. I don't think that would be a good thing for them at this point in their journey, right? You've done it this far, homegrown team,
But here's my
all
point.
drafted by the Warriors. I mean, aside from the
No, but
KD
here's
thing,
my
which they
point.
took a lot of heat on.
I think sometimes we underrate, and KD even said he came to the Golden State because he liked the brand of basketball.
Yeah.
At a certain point, there's like,
Oh,
oh, this
LeBron
would be
would love
really
it.
fun to
Yeah.
play together and that
Yeah.
brand of basketball. And I think that All Star game, when they played together, I mean, they were filthy together in that game.
You know who
That's why I'm
else?
not ruling it out.
You know who else was filthy in the All Star game playing together? Steph and Giannis. Let's make that
That's
one
true.
happen.
That's true. That's
I'm
true.
just saying, like, if you're gonna go like,
But Giannis
full
isn't going
fantasy.
anywhere. That's what I'm saying.
I
But
mean,
this is
maybe
more realistic. This
Giannis
is more
does not
realistic.
locked in long term there. He is not.
He has
If
another
2
1 year or two
years,
years. He
I
has
think.
2 years.
I'm just saying. What are we saying the timeline is on Steph being, how many more years he has left? How many more years does LeBron have? If you're going to make that the end of, the dynasty era,
But
like I'm not.
we did see LeBron like in that last game, 48 minutes. Like when he needs to step up, he can. AD
He's
is not
he's
consistent
getting
enough.
surgery.
Curry is more consistent. I know.
LeBron's getting surgery. I'm just
I'm
saying, like I'm
I'm
not.
saying I'm not ruling it out. I think it's not that crazy.
I think Steph prefers LeBron. Definitely respects him. Definitely is like, this is my greatest foe. You know what I mean? Like, I think he really really enjoys his brand of basketball. But I think he likes competing against him way more than he would like having him as a teammate, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
but as you get older, you're kind of like, well, I mean, look at Steph got left out on his own this postseason. Like he needed help. He needed help. So
Yeah,
here's what would happen. Obviously Wiggins is gone in that trade. He's clearly gone.
right.
So how's this for a starting five? Steph, LeBron, Clay, Draymond, Looney.
You know
Tell
how
me
you know how that roster is old,
it's old,
old.
but
Like,
tell
what are
me
we
that.
talking about?
Okay, come on, tell me that doesn't excite you a little bit just to see it.
I don't know, man. I don't see it. I don't. And honestly, I think because I've heard other fans obviously talking about it, and
You're telling me
I'm
you're not excited at least a little bit to see that?
not really like because this is my thing. You're so close to having this dynasty, right? Which was started by the core.
Right.
Go out on it. I don't even care if they win another title. I just want
Sure.
them to go out as that group, right?
Well,
That
again, we're not
nucleus
that
that's
that's
done
the core
everything.
four. We're not losing the core four.
Yeah, but you're adding what the second greatest player of all time and all the stuff he brings.
I think it could be fun though. I know I'm shocking you with this take because I'm not a big LeBron guy, but
No,
like
no,
it
I
could be really
listen.
fun to see. It could
You're
be
not
beautiful
alone. You're
basketball.
not alone. I just think my thing is like if it was gonna happen or if Steph wanted to happen, I legit think there would be things behind the scenes pushing towards that. I
Well,
think
that's
you
what's
know what I mean.
already. Well, I mean, I
No,
know
no, 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 no.
Draymond
This
and
is
LeBron,
this is
Draymond
one
and LeBron
sided.
are like good friends,
Right,
but Steph and LeBron are friends now
right.
too.
But this whole push is because LeBron said he wants it to happen.
Right.
There's nothing coming from Steph. You know what I mean? The
But
Warriors obviously
Steph is always low key. He never talks about
right,
this
but
stuff
in that
ever.
interview was he low was he kind of wishy-washy on it? What did he say?
That
You
was
know
a
what he
couple
said?
years. That was a couple years ago.
You know what he said, Jay?
He's like,
I'm
nah,
I'm
I know,
good. I'm
I'm good.
good.
I
I
know.
was like, okay,
But
like
that was like 3 years ago.
I think he's good, man. I mean,
But
listen, could he change his mind?
do I think
And
you're right? I think you're right, but I'm not
I
ruling it out.
I don't know, man.
I think it would cause such chaos. I
Yeah.
kind of want to see it just as a spectacle.
I mean, would I watch it? Absolutely,
And
But I
again,
just
I want okay, Steph, LeBron, pick and roll with Draymond. Like the potential for that would be.
I
I'm
mean,
just saying.
yeah, I just think it would be a worse version of them bringing KD in, which I'm just like at this point, I just, you know what I mean? Like we did
Well,
that.
you're thinking about Steph's legacy, but Steph already won another title with the other group last year, so it doesn't matter at this point.
I
That's
agree. I'm talking about how he's perceived from the idiots, right?
I
They're
know,
gonna
but
say, "Oh, now they're bringing in
I
LeBron
know,
to help it,"
but fuck the
And he's
idiots. I
already
don't even
cemented.
care.
No, yeah,
He doesn't give a shit about the idiots. That's my
honestly,
point.
I just think he would just prefer to ride it out with, you know what I mean? Like his legacy
If
team,
it
his
worked
legacy
out,
core.
I don't think he would veto it.
Would he push for it? Would he okay it? That I don't even think he's at
I
that
don't think he
point.
would push for it, but I think he would okay it.
Okay. You know what?
Especially
It'll
because
it
especially because here's the angle. It guarantees Draymond stays around,
mm,
right?
yeah.
Because that's been up in the air. And we know Steph wants that him
Yeah.
and Clay and Dre to stay around together. If that's how it works out and it solidifies that to the end,
You know what
that's my
yeah,
thing.
it's interesting. I think this whole Bob Myers situation just throws everything up in the air. So
Yeah.
now I'm kind of like
That's what
I
I'm
don't know.
saying.
I
That's what
don't
I'm
know.
saying. Bob
Yeah,
Myers,
it is a possibility. I have to admit it is.
and just to be clear,
I will not be happy. I will
Bob
be
Myers is
like,
not going anywhere else, by the way. He's going to spend time with family.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
That's so good
because
for him. Good
right,
for him.
yeah. But I figured that was the case. You're not leaving Steph. Like, what's a better situation
Yeah.
to be a GM other than a team with Steph Curry? Like,
Yeah,
I don't think it's out
he
there.
alluded to him possibly leaving. This is not a big
Yeah,
shock.
it's a grind, man. And it's 12 seasons he was, the
Yeah.
head of a dynasty.
I believe he
They
has
weren't always a
teenagers in the
dynasty, but
house too, who he
yeah,
wants to
yeah.
spend time with before they go away to
Hey,
college.
I
So you
I
get that,
I
right?
relate to that right now because
Me too.
my kids are that age too. So it's
Yeah.
but no, man. I think I mean I guess we're transitioning to that more, but I just give him a lot of props, man. He came in as a first time GM. He was a player agent, which is a completely different job.
Right.
Had to learn on the fly, and I don't think Joe Lacob made it easy all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
we really
He had
appreciate Lacob as an owner, but
he had Jerry West as a helping
that
him
was
too
huge.
originally.
That
Yeah.
was huge. I think he learned a lot from Jerry West.
Yeah.
But when Jerry West left, Bob stepped up and man, They do not do all the things they do without Bob Myers.
Oh no,
100%.
I mean he's the one last year who pushed to not have Avery, right? And they had GP2,
Right.
right?
Yeah, I mean, right, because the
Like
players, I
little
think,
decisions like
yeah,
that.
the
Yeah.
players were pushing to keep,
And
have the
and
veteran
Myers
guy.
was like, no, we're going GP2.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or not last year, year before last, but yeah.
Right, bringing in, Andre Iguodala was huge. Like, really, that was a Bob Myers
That was the franchise
masterclass.
change
That
right
started
there.
it.
Well, and
Yeah,
Iggy wanted to come
right, right.
because
But
because the Warriors beat Denver in that
right,
playoff
right.
series, and
Yeah,
then he was like, he saw Steph and Clay and goes, "That's special. I
yeah.
want to be part of this."
But it
He
wasn't
said
easy,
that,
right? They had to shed
right?
salary. They had to do a lot.
Yeah,
Like that's the stuff I'm talking about. The behind
and
the
then
scenes
trading
stuff.
Monta Ellis for getting Bogut too.
Right.
Those are the two big moves
Yeah. Yeah.
outside of drafting, obviously.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like trades that could have happened, right?
Yeah.
Clay for Kevin Love, and just all these things that could have like
That was Jerry
just
West. Jerry West said he's gonna
right,
leave. He's like, I'll
right,
quit if you do that trade. I'll
right,
quit.
right.
I'm done.
But I think like Myers being there around that, seeing
Yeah.
that, and being like, okay, so you know what I mean? Like especially once you have these players who maybe weren't as high profile when you start your run, and then they become stars,
Yeah.
kind of like massaging all those egos. And I would say Steve Kerr is brilliant at that too. Like he
Oh,
doesn't get a lot of credit
absolutely.
for that, but this is not easy. And the GM works behind the scenes a lot of times. You don't really
Right.
see all the moves he's making. So, definitely huge props to him. Um, Obviously, if he wants another job as a GM, he gets it. Like, I think whatever
Oh,
opening comes up,
that's not. I mean,
yeah.
it wasn't about that. It was
No,
about
and I
family
think they
time.
offered him as much money as he would have wanted. I don't think they
Yeah.
lowballed him or anything. I really
The
don't.
rumor is they offered them the highest salary
Yeah, yeah.
for a GM in the league.
And I don't think it was an easy decision turning down Steph. I really don't.
Right.
And so I just hope he just enjoys this time and like getting to reconnect with his family a little bit, and because it's a grind, man. Think about all the finals runs they made,
I know.
right?
Like
Over
your
and over.
season is long.
And his season doesn't end when the finals
No, it
ends,
keeps
right?
going. Exactly.
Yeah, free
It's a grind
agency,
for
yeah,
sure.
everything else. So, but no, shout out to Bob Myers for real, man.
All right. Well, we've carried on a bit. So
Yeah,
let's just recap this. So Denver in 6, and then LeBron to the Warriors. Is that what's happening?
I had Denver in 5, but yeah, I'm not saying LeBron to the Warriors. Do not. I mean,
It will
will I
not
still be
surprise
a fan
me.
of the team? Yes.
Yeah.
Will I be happy? No, I will not.
No.
I just the
I'm
soap
open to
opera
it. I'm
aspect.
open to it just for the fun. I don't know.
Oh my god, I
Chaos.
can't deal with
I'm team chaos.
the passive aggressive leadership. I'm gonna be pulling my hair out, man. But you know what? If Steph says okay, I'm
There you
okay.
go. There you go.
So we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, the finals start
Thursday.
Thursday night. So
It's quick turnaround for my
we'll check in mid finals, see how it
Miami.
starts
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
And then recap it after that too. So
Sounds good, man.
all right. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. Please subscribe, leave comments,
Absolutely.
and we'll check in soon.
Peace.